Bearcat Bounce Podcast at it again. Welcome in. It's Monday after the Bearcats pick up a big win at home against Arizona State. They protect home court. They hold serve into the Tuesday night meeting with a very good Texas Tech team. It is a Monday night where the Bearcats watch their former coaches play for a national championship. It is a Monday where a Bearcat is celebrating a national championship. A Bearcat has got the gold around his neck. He doesn't have the suit on anymore, but he gets to take credit. It is a Monday where we get ready for all things Bearcats. It is also a Monday where Brent finally, Aaron, you can pull us up. Brent Young finally figured out the only way to get out of doing national games while national championships and championships are being played, and that is to go to the game. So Brent is at the national championship right now, watching Notre Dame and Ohio State, and I am filling in. And I've got to say, fellas, how are we?
That was one of the worst impressions I've ever heard. He didn't deserve that at all.
And yet it was still spot on. It was still spot on.
Oh, gosh.
I'm doing fine. Weekend's over. Time to get to work. Glad we got a special guest who's got the gold around his neck. So ready to get this party started.
With Brent out, that brings us in the baby-faced assassin, Keegan Nickerson, looking like a 12-year-old. Keegan, how are we?
See, I shave the beard, but I keep the mustache, and I get made fun of. I shave everything, I get made fun of.
Was it an
So I just
accident?
have to
Like,
keep the beard.
Were you like trimming and then kept going and kept going? And
Every like 5-6 months, I get tired of the usual look, so I just take it all off, and then I realize why I grow out the beard right when I take it all off, and then I have to wait for it to grow back in. So, but yeah, I'm doing good.
To grow back in?
Shut up. It's like a week and a half. Beyonce made some tomato basil soup and grilled cheese, so it was a throwback dinner night. It was good.
It's good to hear. And we are joined by a champion, a man of the people, the head coach for the Cincinnati Bearcat Mascot program, Chris Helmers. You've been a coach for what, 4 years now?
Yeah, this is season number 4, baby. Yeah, it's
that is your third national title in 4 years.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So
feels good.
You got to start. You're like a dynasty.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wanted a three-peat, but I'll take 3 and 4 years.
Was there a modicum of like, we got screwed last year, like it's time to like take our title back?
Nah, yeah. I mean, there was that feeling for sure. We came in third last year. I felt that we deserved second for sure last year, but yeah, it was kind of a vengeance year for sure. And we were just happy to be back on top and bringing it home to Cincinnati.
Oh, hold on, we got one more. Ryan Neuer, how are we?
I'm good, man. Just having some hardware issues with this old ass laptop, but I'm happy to be here. We got some extra special guests right now.
Chris, you were in the suit. You were in the suit when Ryan was Mr. Bearcat, right? And you were like the Bearcat. So
Ryan, I think I was in the suit from 2015 to spring of 2018. So okay. I think Ryan, Luke Bickle's first year coaching was my senior year, the 4-8 season.
Okay, yeah, we did cross paths.
Yeah,
I wasn't. There wasn't much to see out of me back then, man. I was kind of just waving a towel around, maybe giving guys some water and stuff like that, but keeping the boys hydrated.
Hey, people forget I was a student athletic trainer for the, what was that, Military Bowl year. Michael Colosimo throwing a touchdown to Chris Moore. Oh yeah,
There you go.
I've been in those shoes, water boy.
Guys, have at it with Chris. Chris and I talk all the time. I don't need to. I mean, he's a longtime viewer. He's been in the comment section. He's been a longtime BCJ guy. He
Oh yeah.
For a couple years, he went out of his way to make sure Reagan Yoakum was as uncomfortable as possible. He has mascot phobia.
Couple years. I think it's still a thing.
She's gotten over it a little bit, at least. She's not as jumpy. I mean, the first year they had mascot day, and you made sure that every mascot walked by her at some point.
She loves Mascot Mania is her favorite day of the year at UC.
That's hilarious. I have a burning question.
Yeah.
How does one become a mascot coach? Like, what do I have to major in? What contacts do I have to get in order for that to happen?
Honestly, it needs to be its own degree at UC. That's for sure. No. So in reality, no, it was just me really wanting to come back to UC and be a part of what I was a part of when I was at UC. It really goes back to when I tried out for the mascot program in 2015. Back then it was a flyer. Now it's all on social media. Yeah, I mean, I did it for 3 years. I did about 450 appearances in 3 years as the mascot. And then, I went out and did some professional work when I graduated, and really love Cincinnati. My now wife we're in Cincinnati together. We met when we were in college. She was at St. Louis University and I was at UC, and it kind of just went back to me really wanting to be here in Cincy. And I think it was the year after COVID. They didn't do any events or appearances after COVID. And I went to tryouts that year, and Tabby Fagan, the spirit coordinator, and Tim Murphy, they really wanted to build the program back up to, kind of, I don't want to say ground zero, but after COVID, every program was pretty much at the bottom because nobody was doing appearances or events that year I took on a team of 7 guys, 5 new guys at that. I only had 2 returners from the previous year, and we kind of just took off from there, won a championship the year we went to the college football playoff. And then we went back to back and came in 3rd last year, and now we're here and 3 championships in 4 years. So, the level of our program has increased at a rapid.
Uh-oh.
Muted. Lose him.
No, he's not muted. I can't hear you. Nope. It says damn AirPods.
There we go.
AirPods.
There we go.
Are you
Got
there?
me?
Got you.
Yeah, I
got
got you now.
Okay, you're back.
Okay.
Don't move your head. Don't move your head.
I'll move my head. All right. But yeah, like I said, 3 out of the last 4 years. So I can't complain. We've been growing at a rapid pace, but that just goes back to the support system that we have with the university and the athletic department. So
That's awesome.
So to get the national championship, I'm sure there's a sequence of events. I've watched the skit that included, I think, about 200 different clips from different songs and what have you. But what all went into getting to the final gold around the neck?
Yeah, so pretty much every summer we go to what's called UCA camp, which UCA is Universal Cheerleading Association, and then there's also a UDA, which is Universal Dance Association. That's what our cheer and dance teams partake in their competition every single year. There is no UMA, Universal Mascot Association, but we compete in the Universal Cheer Association. So we go to a camp every single year, and at that camp, our guys go through kind of like a training process of what it takes to be a mascot, and blah blah blah. We go through all the improv classes, the creativity, prop making, everything like that. And then once we go to that camp, that pretty much gives us like not an invite, but it gives us they go through and talk about nationals, and what that is pretty much they'll go through and explain the rules and everything for what this year's nationals will take to make it to Orlando. So typically, what it is it's a 2-minute highlight video, and it includes 5 categories. So community service, it'll include, oh my gosh, I'm brainwashed right now. Community service, crowd involvement, game day activity, school activity, and cheer band dance. So those are the 5 categories. So we have to make a 2-minute video, and we had over 1,200 clips of Bearcat this year that we filmed. So there's always a camera on Bearcat, and you'll probably see people running around with cameras and holding it horizontally to make sure we're filming, and that's probably because I'm in their ears making sure that they're filming all the time. So pretty much it's a 2-minute highlight video, and we're trying to get the best clips possible for our mascot that really exemplify what we do for the university and everything that has to go into it. This year, they only accept the top 10 mascots that submit. So typically there's around 50 to 55 mascots that submit every single year. They only invite the top 10 down to Orlando, Florida. There's 2 divisions. There's an open division and a D1A, which that's what we're a part of. There's an open division. They only accept 5 mascots. So that's like Delaware, Villanova, typically, Austin P, so forth. This year was the first year that the Bearcat mascot program ever placed first in the entry video. The entry video is worth 50% of the score to make it down to Orlando. So it's kind of like that's pretty much your invite down. But it's also 50% of your video, so you need to take it very seriously. And then the other 50% is like you guys, like you said, Aaron, is the skit. So it's a 1 and 30-second skit. There's a bunch of rules and regulations that go into the skit. Like you said, there's music, clips of different TV shows and memes and vines and TikToks and so forth and so forth. So this year we selected our theme. We did firefighter 2 years ago, and so this year we decided we wanted to do police officer, and kind of bring it back for the heroes of the world. Yeah, we went down there and we killed it, man. It was fantastic.
That's awesome.
I'm just muting you real quick, Chris, while that announcement's going on. That was super loud. Hopefully it's done by the time we get the next question in. But we're good. My follow-up question to that is, what do we got to do to get the Bearcat on NCAA college football?
Man, oh my God, I'm telling you what, guys. So we went to Big 12 Media this year, and that was like the biggest thing. And I think it was this year in Vegas. No, yeah, Vegas was this year.
In Vegas.
And like they make this big thing about NCAA 25, and then NCAA 25 has a picture of Bearcat and Raider Red from Texas Tech, literally, and they post about it on their main Instagram, and then we're not even in the game. I don't know why we're not in the game. Like, it's crazy to me. I mean, that was one of my favorite games growing up, NCAA football. Like, I literally thought, like, it's crazy. Mascot mashup, like playing that growing up, and then like when game day came here and seeing Lee Corso put Bearcat head on, like that is like my childhood pretty much. So yeah, I don't know. I know. I mean, that's crazy. So like, I don't know what I got to do. I don't know how many more national championships we need to win to be able to get Bearcat in the game. But yeah, it's we'll get in there. I know we will. They'll recognize us at some point.
All right.
Hopefully they have the algorithm for it fixed, so like you're not playing at UC and then you have the Virginia Tech Hokie pop up in the game like they did in this last one.
Yeah,
it's just always wrong. So
yeah, no, and their dance moves of some of the other mascots could be a little better. So
yeah, absolutely.
So you know the boy Charlie McKenzie?
Yeah, Charlie was a part of my first team that I coached. He was a senior. It was a one and done year type thing. And we don't do that a whole lot, but when there's somebody that you know is going to be like a diehard Bearcat, give everything that they can, and he exemplifies that. Yeah, man. And he is, fun fact about Charlie, and if you guys don't know who we're talking about, they did an interview probably 2 or 3 years ago. It was Brutus and Bearcat Mascot. They're both national championship mascots, so they both won the UCA champions, and then they both went to the college football playoff, and they're twins as well. So like one was a Brutus and one was a Bearcat. It was a crazy story. I think WCPO or somebody did a news story on it. But yeah.
I just wanted to
do any
see.
of your guys graduate to like the NFL? Like, is there a future in mascotting? Like, they got national champion on their resume. That's got to help on a job application.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys know. I mean, yeah, professional mascotting is a thing. You can make a career out of it. I know plenty of guys that work for NFL teams, NBA teams, MLB teams that make a really, really good living on what they do. It's a revenue builder for a franchise. It's a revenue builder, and not only that, you're the face of that franchise. You're the face of the university when you do these kinds of things. But yeah, we have a pipeline. There's a couple pipelines for our guys to go out after they graduate and really get a sense of what it's like to be a professional, whether that's internships or assistant, mascots at some point. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunities once you graduate. Now, I will say the NFL, NBA, MLB, it's a cutthroat industry. Once you get one, you don't want to leave it because it's hard to get another one. There's 30 teams and 32 teams NFL, 31 or whatever NBA, 30, and I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but and NHL too. But yeah, I mean they make a living, and I know I got a lot of connections for my guys to have internships, whether that the Colts or the Braves or the Cleveland Browns or whatnot. Yeah, there's a lot of good opportunities once my guys graduate if they're still interested in doing it.
Do you know my guy Dylan Moody?
I do. Mr. Red Legs. Yeah. I apologize. Yeah, he did it for like 14 seasons. Yeah. So he was doing that when I was in suit. And then he left when I kind of had just graduated from Cincinnati.
Retired.
Yeah, retired.
He put the giant head down.
Yeah. Just like I hung up the paws and feet.
Right. Keegan, what you got? I figured I'd throw it to you while you were taking a drink.
What's the most uncomfortable you ever were in the suit, like for an event or?
Oh man. When I did a baseball game for UC, I think it was my senior year, and as far as as far as most uncomfortable, because I was completely hungover from the night before, and I will say it is one of the best feelings, like to sweat everything out. It's the easiest thing to do, but the headache while you're in there and doing it was the worst feeling in the absolute world. And at a 85-degree baseball game with all black suit and adding 25-pound weight on your that was one of the worst ones. But like I tell this story all the time, but like uncomfortable, but like super awesome story. When they do, I mean, the shootout every single year, when we do that baby Bearcats event at the hospital, and we get to go there and kind of be next to the newborns and everything like that, coolest thing ever. But when that doctor gets one of those babies and is like, here you go, and it's like, you want me to hold that like in this? Like, are you serious?
Yeah, those big paws.
Don't even ask. Don't even ask the parents, and it's just like, here you go. Like the first thing that this child sees is Bearcat. So yeah, but yeah, those are definitely two fond memories, core uncomfortable memories. But again, you get the good and the bad.
Were you in the suit for the Purdue game when it was 1,000 degrees?
Yeah. Oh my God. So I had to get an IV after that game. Fun fact. Aaron, so yeah, Aaron, if Aaron Himmler listens to this, but like he had one of his student athletic trainers. Like I was still in the athletic training program at the time, so I knew a lot of the guys that were still in it. But yeah, I did that entire game. It was soaking wet on natural grass, and it was the most humid place on earth at that time. And my feet were covered in mud and water and so forth and so forth. And I think I only took like one break at halftime. And I remember after the game, I got out of the suit in the locker room and I like took everything off and immediately like my whole body locked up on me. And I was so dehydrated and like I couldn't move. The cheerleaders had to lift me out and into like I don't even know where I was, but yeah, I had to get an IV after the game, and then on top of that, I had to get on the bus, like a charter bus, and drive back. So my legs like not only locked up on me before the IV, then I had to get on a bus and sit on a charter bus for however long Fayetteville or is that Fayetteville? Yeah, or
West Lafayette.
West Lafayette.
Lafayette.
Yeah. All the way back home. Oh God, yeah, that was a fun game because we won. Again, if we win, it's worth it. The losses are the worst.
That's awesome.
How about what do you have to do down there while everybody else is performing? Like, does the Bearcat have responsibilities during?
So
that dance had a really good event. Finished what, third,
Yeah.
fourth, fifth.
yeah, actually, Bearcat was a part of their third place finish. They were in.
That's probably why that was their highest finish. That's why Bearcat was there.
Yeah, no, our dance team is lit. I'm not gonna lie. They did a really good job down there. And our cheer team obviously competes down there as well. So Bearcat also partakes in the game day. So they have a game day division down there for dance and cheer. And so they do like the sideline routine, like a sideline, which is usually down the drive. They do the fight song, and then they do like a defense or touchdown chant. And the Bearcat is allowed to be in that routine with our dance team and our cheer team. So this year, actually, Bearcat has won with our cheer team 3 years. My senior year was the first year, and then
Attention to all first-year passengers on flight number 1749 with services to Cincinnati.
Frontier.
A car seat.
I mean, she's got to know we're busy. Like we
Yeah,
we
there
got stuff
are more
going on.
important things.
Come on, lady.
Delay the
Jeez.
flight until the BVP's over. Come on. Oh gosh.
When he comes back, I want to know if they have to every winter have a conversation with whoever is the on like current mascot about not throwing snowballs for obvious reasons.
That's just like the first thing that he hears from administration when he takes the job. You will get arrested.
It's in the video they have to watch at the beginning before they sign the waiver. Man, what a long announcement. Goodness gracious.
I wonder if he's ever almost been arrested at a game. That would be really fun. No, he's too much of a pro.
All right,
he's good.
And we're back.
Good Lord. I don't even know where I was, but they do. I was saying about game day. So they do. So the Bearcat has won with cheer 3 times for the game day competition down there in Florida. And then last year we placed second with our dance team. This year we placed third with our dance team. So it's a cool, like Chad was saying, like when we're down there, we're not just sitting around waiting for our one time that we do our skit. We do a lot of other things. And then we also practice our skit when we're down there as well. But yeah. As far as the one question I heard when the announcements were going on, yes, the snowballs. It's a thing every single year. I have to let all of our guys know about what's out there because a lot of people, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people that come into our program, now I got a lot of 2000 kids. Like nobody, a lot of the 90s kids are gone, so like not a lot of people know about the history of what actually happened that day. And like even like so and this was one thing that I did when I first started. Like my goal was always to like do so well here that like people would forget about that incident, but like it's still such a big incident that happened, that it's really really hard to forget about. But when people bring it up online, like I'll always like try and like, hey, can you delete this? Hey, can you just take this down? Type of thing. But no, our guys know about it. I definitely tell them all just so they're aware, because our fans still, like some of the older people at basketball games, that are, like a lot of the boosters and donors that sit down there, they talk about that day all the time to just Bearcat, because it's the same person at the same time, blah 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 blah. But yeah, I mean, that incident. So actually, this year we played Pittsburgh at home, and this was one idea that I really, man, I wanted to do it so bad. I wanted to dress Bearcat up as a giant snowman for that game, because it was like the first time Pitt had played in Cincinnati since that incident, and it was not allowed. I completely understand why, but like, oh my God, our fan base would have freaking lost it. It would have went viral. Like, so
Such a
it would have been
layered joke.
huge.
Such a layered
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah. But we were like, no, we can't bring that. We don't want to bring it back up. Like, we don't want it to like arise again. And so that one didn't make it. But obviously, you guys see like all the things that we do on game days. I have such a fun time with it with my guys, brainstorming in the off season to kind of prep and get ready for what the season is for football, and then what our national season is as well. So yeah.
Man, you could have had the Panther dressed up as a cop. Would have been just a mess.
Hey, you know what? And I won't lie. So a lot of the mascot coaches that are down there at nationals, they know about the history of the Bearcat mascot program, and they were looking at our skit, and one guy was like, "Please tell me you made a reference in the skit about the snowball incident." And I was like, "No," I was like, "I did not." But I was like, "I'm glad we won, because UCPD." And I know it wasn't UCPD that arrested us, but like UCPD will be getting one of these gold medals, because they were the ones who donated a vest to our Bearcat mascot program. We got like the Bearcat, like PO Bearcat on there, the whole 9 yards. It made our outfit look unbelievable down there. That was a big comment that we got, like the glasses, the uniform, the whole 9 yards. It looked really, really cool.
Nice. Brian, you got anything for Chris today?
Yeah, outside of like Miami or X, who do you think the Bearcats' biggest rival mascot has been throughout the years?
Fans want to say it's Nitro from UCF, but we Nitro and Bearcat, because of that, like our fan bases go at it on Twitter. I love it. It's so funny because like the
I wouldn't know
mascots,
anything about that.
the mascots are like this. They are like it, and we did it because of that specific reason, and we make it's like a funny little bit pretty much that we do, because our fan bases don't like each other. We make it a bit that the mascots like love each other and are like best friends. And no, that people think it's Nitro. I don't really think we have like a rival. I think
It's that
Cosmo.
stupid blob, isn't it?
Oh, man. I will say, yeah. I mean that is a like, and I like ingrain it
Just
because
let it out, Chris. Let it out.
Dude, Chad, I'm so happy we won this year. Oh my God. That picture that we put, I had that picture in our back pocket for 2 years now. So, and it's the Bearcat, and he's going like this to the blob. I've had that for so long, and I just wanted to post it, and thank God we won. So, but yeah, I mean, I have kids that come in. I have a kid from Connecticut. We've got kids from Cleveland. We've got kids from Indy. So like all over the country that come in that are part of our program. And my favorite part is being able to tell the traditions of UC to kids, and really the rivalry is like the main one. Like, and like they will learn to hate Xavier just as much as I do. I'm a Cincinnati born kid, and if you put on that suit, like you have to feel the anger and the energy that I do.
Passengers on flight number 1749 with service to
Goodness gracious.
I
I
mean,
love podcasting.
did you guys catch what I caught though? Like apparently the coach of the Bearcat mascot program doesn't recruit locally. He focuses on out of the area, and they still win championships. So it can be done. But you know, we got to get Chris Helmers in the halls of Moeller and LaSalle. Like, you know, Chris.
Hey, I'm a LaSalle grad. And you know what? It's crazy. This year, I'm putting on a clinic this summer where I'm going to have a lot of local high school mascots come through. It'll be kind of like a thing that I'm promoting for this summer. You know, high school mascots near and far, pretty much. And I'm hoping to make it a big thing, and hopefully we can expand it, you know, up into the Columbus area. And then because I'm really close with the Brutus head coach as well, and he's a great guy. And that we can put on a clinic for high school mascots and kids that are, you know, interested in wanting to do this during college and stuff like that. Because that's really how I found the love for it. I went to a UCA camp when I was in college, and I saw all these other programs. Now I'm a competitive dude, and I want to win. So, but it really it made me really love this kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I would say, yeah, Xavier is definitely the hated rival. I mean, you see the videos every year. We're either knocking them down, or we're pushing them over, or I don't know what I just can't stand. I can't stand him.
I love it.
But yeah. So I can't remember the hated rivals. But BYU, I will say, BYU Cosmo Cougar. Everybody knows Cosmo. Those dudes are insane out there. I mean, they're freaking gymnasts. Like, you have to be able to do that kind of stuff in order to be a part of their team. We are not that. I will take you as long as you show up to tryouts. No, there's a little thing to it. You know, when I was trying out, there was only like 4 to 5 kids at tryout. Now we're getting about 25 to 35 people at our tryouts, which is super nice because it gives us I don't want to say cream, you know, you can kind of pick the best of the best, but it allows the people that are really wanting to be committed and dedicated to the program and you know, keep raising the bar for our mascot program at UC.
Yes, he is in an airport, as evidenced by the multiple times that there have been announcements. When is your flight supposed to take off?
I'm supposed to board like in a minute, so I'll probably have to go here soon because it's probably going to be Group 1 load, Group 2 load, Group 3 load. But
I don't want to start any trouble, but I heard the dance team flew private and you're flying commercial.
Yeah, the dance team. Yeah. You know what? Here's my. I'll tell this
Did
before I
Skillings
go
pay
too.
for that?
I love Dan. He's a big supporter of the dance team and our spirit program. But I will. Diamonds members.
Any gold members. Any silver members.
But I will
Show
say
them
this.
that medal. Get on the plane.
Gold member. You got the gold. You can
You're
do
the
it.
most official looking
You're
one.
good.
I will say this. So we have props. Each prop is 36 by 36 or less. So I had to drive a U-Haul down to Orlando, 16 hours one way, didn't stop. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. I did it last year too. It was only 14 hours last year. So not fun, but definitely worth it because, you know, obviously I get this around my neck. And tomorrow I hope tomorrow we'll have a recognition for the Bearcat mascot at the Texas Tech game. So that'll be pretty cool too.
All right, we'll let you get on the plane.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys having me on. As always, you guys are a reason that we do what we do. The support that you guys have and everybody else at UC, the fans are why we do it. So we really appreciate it. And go Bearcats.
And what they don't know, we can have you back on to talk sport because you know, like you can hold your own. Talk
absolutely
basketball.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If you guys ever want to have me on, I love getting on the radio after like games. I don't know if you guys got on 700 WOW. I love getting on there and just blasting whatever team we just played when UC wins. Notre Dame, Indiana. This year was Dayton. I got on there and I went, I love it. And every conversation I end on there and Xavier still sucks. It's the best. So no, seriously, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And anytime, let me know, and I'm willing to talk it up with everybody.
Love you, brother.
Safe travel.
Have a safe flight. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
Congrats,
Thanks,
Chris.
guys. Appreciate it.
There we go. Chris Helmers joining us from the airport after winning a national championship. What a legend. 3 out of 4. Like, that guy deserves
It's a
to be a
dynasty.
hero in the Bearcat community. He's got a dynasty going with the Bearcat.
Mhm.
He's the Nick Saban of mascot coaching.
He actually is. That's wild.
Oh,
Someone better tell Nick about him. They're in the same hemisphere now.
they are. Nick will get jealous, and
We need Shane Gillis to do a bit on Chris.
did they have him on? I didn't see if he was on tonight.
Not
was
game
on.
day, but he was on Pat's show. I don't think he was on
Okay.
game day.
He said he's
might have
scared of Saban now. He
Yeah.
doesn't want to. I went
He
and
was
saw him
hiding.
on Saturday. He was funny as hell, but dude, Heritage Bank's got to work on their
Every
I
getting
heard it
people
was
in the
awful.
building.
It's got to work
heard
on
it was-
their everything. Oh gosh.
All right, I guess we'll timestamp that. Brought to you by Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. Quick Paper services over 150 restaurants with weekly low minimum next-day deliveries. They provide a wide range of food service products from to-go containers, cups, custom printed products, eco-friendly, and much more. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all your janitorial needs. Call Nick at 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases. All right, let's get into the Bearcat basketball side of things as they pick up their second win in a row on Saturday, 67-60 over Arizona State. It got interesting for a minute, and then they were able to pull it out, pull back ahead, and keep Arizona State at bay. But they had another one of their 8-minute droughts without a field goal. Fortunately, during that stretch, Dan Skillings was able to get to the free throw line, so it didn't get as bad as it maybe could have, as they were able to hold off the Sun Devils. 2-4 in Big 12 play, a huge one tomorrow night against Texas Tech before taking the long trip out to Utah. They take on BYU Saturday at 10 p.m. and then Utah Tuesday at 10 p.m. So adjust your sleep schedules accordingly. You're going to be up late on Saturday. You're going to be up late on Tuesday. You're going to be here after the game with Aaron and I for the aftermath, as we usually get our best crowds. The later that we're on, the more people that show up for the post-game shows. So I guess it's good for business. But Keegan, Aaron and I have spent our time talking about it on the aftermath. Ryan, did you get a chance to watch Saturday?
I did. I got
Okay,
to
good.
watch the second half.
All right.
I missed the first half, but I was able to see a win. So that was good. It's been a long.
Keegan, what are your takeaways from the victory over Arizona State?
Yeah, the game that I watched was much further apart than what the box score looks like. Now that I actually I take a few days and I go and look at it, they got killed on the boards, especially the offensive boards. But that's Jaden Quainance. That's him being one of the best rebounders in the world, not just in college. They did not shoot it well at all, and you're still able to come out with a pretty comfortable win. And it was just forcing those turnovers. I mean, they forced 14 turnovers and only turned it over 7 fast break points. And then when they weren't scoring, they weren't allowing Arizona State to score in bunches and take a lead and try to build on anything. So I think it was just a defensive battle that they kind of just played to their identity. And like I say, Chad, they got those 1 to 2 threes that they need. And it was CJ Frederick. I think that was a big difference.
I feel like our definitions of comfortable win are a little different.
Up by 17 in the second half. And then
by
it
7.
got to 4.
I was getting really nervous when was it Dan and who I don't remember who went up for the rebound and drops it, and they just
Aziz,
stuffed the dunk
yeah.
right back in. I was like, here we go again. Are we gonna find a way to lose this game somehow? Because I know what you meant though. Like we felt like we were in control. It's like a game we're going to win. Like we can't find a way to lose this one. But there was that play. It was giving me like the same feeling I got on that stuffed dunk by Page versus Kansas. So
everything just goes straight downhill.
yeah. Now the free throws are better. They're starting to look like a college basketball team on the free throw line.
If Dylan Mitchell shoots it decent, everybody shoots it decent. I think that's what I'm starting to realize.
Yeah. No, I agree with you though on Frederick though. Kind of, he's been a nice little spark the past couple games. Because Hickman was kind of struggling, then he gets hurt. Now Frederick's, we know he can shoot the ball. It's just been about his injuries and getting back in the swing of things, and kind of seeing him get in there and kind of hit a couple threes, doing exactly what he's here to do. It's encouraging. Maybe that'll help motivate like Connor when he's on the bench trying to get healthy. So it's good to see some support coming off the bench more and more the past 3 games.
Yeah.
I will say, Keegan, yes, the couple threes from CJ was important. So was having Jizzle and Seamas make more than 1 or 2 shots each. So
and Jizzle had 3 mid-ranges. He converted 3 mid-ranges. That's otherworldly compared to what he's been doing in the past 3 weeks.
Still couldn't get to 70 points though.
Well, that was on them. They turned it over twice in the final minute when it's like they're gonna just hold it. They're gonna foul you, go make the free throws, and you're gonna get to 70. But 69 is okay.
And they would have covered too, but no.
Were they up? I think they were up 9 when I looked at Brent and said, you didn't give the points, did you? He was like, yeah, 10.5. I was like, you dumbass.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I mean, it's still like it's a good sign for what's to come. I think it's building momentum for Wes Miller and the team, but you still have to look at beating the number 16 and number 14 team in the conference. Is that what it was?
Something like that. Yeah, they're both near the bottom right now.
So
they were must wins.
Yeah, Tuesday. That's
But that's what you have to do. You have to, when you get a chance to play those teams, you build back some momentum. And you start to feel like you're getting on the right track. In this league, the 2 worst teams are still decent. Like Arizona State had a good non-con. They can still beat you if you're not, playing well. Against Colorado, they didn't really play all that well. I mean, they did some things that they needed to do to start building momentum, and then they built off of that against Arizona State. Now we get to see, the number 12 or 13 team in KenPom coming into the arena on Tuesday, tomorrow night, 7:00. You have to. It's not a must win. Like there's still enough room to get going, but if you don't win, that makes the 2 games on the road, BYU and Utah, even that much more important. So it would behoove you to knock off Texas Tech, because then you're at 3-4. It kind of balances out the 0-4 start. You're right back in that mix in the middle of the conference as you go on this 2-game road trip out to Utah. So, nothing's must win. in the middle of January, but it would be better if they did.
I think it's a big litmus test game because I know starting out 0-4, it's like what all the doubts come creeping back in. Maybe we were way too high on this team, and the guys we expected a lot out of, maybe they just aren't as good as we thought. They didn't take that next step, and then winning the games we're supposed to win. You're like, all right, like there's good in this team. They're on track now, but pulling up on number 12, you're going to have to play some good ass basketball to win, even if it's at home. So it's going to be a good key in on how good of a basketball team we are. Are we trending right back to that like top 15 type of Bearcat team we all thought we had? But I like the term must win though, Chad, because if we lose this game, I feel like we're all back to thinking like maybe we're just not that good. We're more on the average side of things because we can't seem to beat the good teams. So I guess we're not really a good team.
Yeah, Ryan. I mean, I think that is the biggest frustration with this team, right? Is we saw a team last year that was so close in so many of these games to getting over the hump and being not one of the best teams in the Big 12, but one of the better teams in the Big 12. And they never could get over that hump. And then they used their resources to bring that group back with the intention of taking a step, right? Like we were this close a year ago. We had 5-6 games that all came down to the final possession. And, we maybe didn't because of injuries and the transfer portal stuff. Like we didn't ever find our stride to really be, that team that we thought we could be. Everybody anticipated, okay, let's take a step with most everybody coming back. And then you beat Xavier and you beat Dayton, and it feels like, okay, the Villanova loss was annoying, but understandable at that point in time. Like, okay, these guys are ready for conference play, and then you start 0-4, and everybody's looking at themselves going, where was that next step? And in fact, it's not a next step, it's a step back. And that's incredibly frustrating as a fan base because you were expecting bigger things from what this group has shown you so far. And, the struggles offensively are frustrating. They're frustrating.
Yeah. This sneaky, though, if they are able to pull out a win tomorrow, it will be the highest ranked win of Wes Miller's tenure in terms of KenPom.
Yeah.
So if you beat the number 12 team in KenPom, that's your highest ranked win of your tenure, which is a stamp that you can make. I initially looked at it because obviously they've beaten better teams on the road than they have at home. And I was like, would this be the highest ranked home win? And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, it would just be highest ranked win, period, not home or away. It would just be the biggest win. So that's a great way to shift momentum. But I mean, this freaking Texas Tech team it's got some dudes. When I looked at it today, they have some dudes.
It's not like they've been invincible offensively. Even their win Saturday, if you look at their numbers, they didn't shoot it great. Like they didn't put a huge offensive performance together. But they did enough, to get out early on Arizona and kind of hold it. So, the defense is going to travel, you expect, especially at home. But they're going to have some dudes that can make tough shots, that can make contested shots, that can make shots out of the flow of their offense, that make it very difficult. Are you guys drunk tonight? Is the chat drunk tonight? I think the chat is drunk tonight.
It's out of control.
Drew, welcome from Greenland. Keegan is very excited to take over your country.
We coming.
Oh, I said
We got Greenland. We got Greenland tuning in.
We got Greenland in the chat.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's Drew's not from Greenland. Who is from Greenland? Oh, Bearcat Lover 500 is from Greenland. Drew wants to be the mascot. Drew, just contact Chris Helmers. But there's a large tryout now. Greenland is the North Pole. That's how you were always taught as kids, right? Greenland is ice and Iceland is green. Anywho.
Oh my God.
Too far off track. Yeah, I mean the bright side. Yeah, probably right, Aaron.
You are.
The bright side is getting Jizzle back on track a little bit, I think. Getting CMOS to see. That's the first multiple 3-point game for him since Dayton. And that was a while ago. So hopefully that is something. The crazy thing to me is how poorly they're shooting at home. Like, you're supposed to shoot better at home. And then poorly on the road, they're shooting like in conference play, it's like 34, 35% from three on the road and like 24% at home. So hopefully tomorrow night is a night where you see the offense start to make a considerable amount of shots at home. That would be a nice change of pace.
Who needs to have the biggest night in order to take home a win?
I don't know. Whoever makes the most shots, Keegan. Like, that's the point of you're supposed to have 4 guys that can lead you in scoring on any given night, but they're not supposed to do it with like 13 points, right? Like, it would be nice. Like, you look around the league and Curtis Jones is busting 25 every other night, and Javon Small is eating people alive for 20 plus a game. And Cincinnati, like, they're lucky if they get somebody to 15. I don't care who it is. It would be nice to see somebody in the like can we get a 20 burger from somebody? I don't even need a 30 burger. Like, can somebody get 21? Who do you have? Who do you think has to be the leading scorer, Keegan?
This is what happens when I try to create conversation on the podcast. Jizzle, because I feel like everyone feeds their confidence off of him and his ability to score.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it's both of them. I mean, it's him and CMOS. We saw just in the first half when those two made like 2 or 3 shots in like a quick segment, everybody all of a sudden it felt like was just like more free and more loose, and that's how they were able to build up the 17-point lead. Made it much easier. Much easier.
Yeah, you just need to do the thing. We've talked about it all season. We want to see multiple guys hit double digits. If we had one dude scoring, I don't know, 18 to 25 range, like everyone else in the entire league has a guy that can do on a random night. Nobody right now is sniffing a 20 burger. But if we had one dude who was at least close to that, and then had the other supporting actors on this team getting to double digits, then you're talking about 70 like Ryan wants to see, like we all want to see.
Yeah. I think what we got.
Go ahead, Jen.
No, you got it.
All right. I was saying just CMOS's 3-point shooting ability. I think he can kind of like get hot and, make 2 out of 4 kind of really quickly. But like Jizzle doesn't really have that like 3-point ability in his game. So him hitting his mid-range shots, being aggressive to the rim, I think is and being able to lay in like 20 points that way. I think CMOS is going to be able to keep building off some of his recent confidence, and we're good for him to like make 2 or 3 threes. So I think someone who's really going to lead the charge and make the biggest impact would be Jizzle. So I'm riding with Keegan on that one.
Good for you guys.
I got a line for you, Chad.
Okay.
Over under on missed dunks at 0.5.
You'd think it'd be under every
Probably.
freaking game.
Well, actually,
They
no,
need-
Ryan, because it is such a big part of like how they want to score, how they need to score. You're gonna get a couple misses here and there. Like most teams don't rely on it. That like I always used to laugh at Berg when he was like so heavy about the dunk. Like, okay, that's great against the bye games. But when you get into these teams that are in the top 30, 40 in defensive efficiency, they're not just going to let you dunk all the time. Like that can't be part of your offense. Like a relied upon part of your offense, getting dunks in the half court if you're going to win high level games.
It can't
You can get them.
It can be if you're enough of a transition team, but this team hasn't proven to be enough of a transition team that they can do it.
I said half court offense.
Yeah.
Like that's a big part of this team's half court offense. Throwing lobs, getting dunks, like they're athletic. Like their makeup is they're super athletic, especially Dan and Dylan and Aziz. Like they play above the rim, so I get that you're like that's counting on your players' strengths, but none of them are good layup makers. So when it's contested at the rim, you're probably gonna get it blocked right now. The way things have been going, but. You know, if you're counting on the dunk in your half court offense to be like a significant portion, you're going to be disappointed far more often than not because it's just hard to like how many teams dunk on Cincinnati on a night by night basis? Very, very few in the half court, at least. It's because it's a good defense. Good defenses don't let you just dunk on their head all the time.
13 blocks by two dudes, though, in 2 games is just an absurd stat.
It is. Silly. Keegan, I got a question for you. They play about 25 minutes a game small without a center on the floor. Do you think we see more of the Dylan Mitchell at the 5 stuff that we've seen sprinkled in over the last 2 games?
I feel like JT Toppin plays really big. Like hooks and floaters and stuff like that. So I wouldn't mind Aziz being on him because I think that he can defend that pretty well. So I'm going to go with no. I think that they stick with Aziz and try to make Toppin beat him. Or at least that's what I want to see. Top. Nice.
Gonna have to score over the top of Aziz Bandago. Bandango. That's the new that's what everybody's been calling him lately. Bandango, Bandaogo, Bandago. Very simple. Very simple. You guys got anything else on basketball?
The game, this 2 games a week is ridiculous. Like again, I still feel like it's been 6 weeks of conference play already, and it's been
3.
3.
Yeah, it's been 3.
I love it.
I do too. Gives me something to freaking look forward to.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, Chad, I think it's a big gut check game. Like I think it's really like how much on the we are like I think we're a good team. You know, I think we're getting into our groove, getting 2 wins, and we're still not even playing our best basketball. Like we're gonna have to play our best game to win this, even though it's at home. So let's really see the direction of this team because I think if we don't win this game, I think we're gonna be scrambling the rest of the year to make this tournament. So if we win this game, I think we can start looking back at this being the turning point.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, Ryan. Like the necessity is to get to 10-10. I know there's a question about this in the mailbag. Like you're not getting in at sub 500 in the league this year, I don't think. So you got to get to 10-10. If they lose, they're 2-5.
Yeah. 8-5 to finish the year. It doesn't seem like we're on a being 2-5, 8-5 doesn't sound that freaking easy, you know?
Right.
So, but Yeah.
long road
well,
decline, especially if you're down 3 home games. You know, if you've chucked away 3 of your first 4 home games, you got to make those up on the road. Like that, you know, 10-10 is home and away. So if you chuck 3 home games, now you got to win 3 road games and hold serve on all the rest of them at home.
Yep.
Not easy. Not easy. All right. Timestamp, Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company. For all your non-food products, they service over 150 restaurants with weekly low minimum next day deliveries, a wide range of food service products, to-go containers, cups, custom printed products, eco-friendly, and much more. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all your janitorial needs. Call Nick 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases. That brings us to Brent's favorite segment. But Brent's not here, so I guess today it'll be my favorite segment.
Thanks,
Ryan
Jay.
and I have not been texting this weekend. So maybe Ryan and Aaron have, maybe Ryan and Keegan have, or maybe Ryan can tell us about a text with Brent he had over the weekend. But Riffin with Royer, new Riffin with Royer, brought to you by New Riff. Fiercely independent and unabashedly innovative, New Riff provides award-winning bourbon, rye whiskey, and gin at their distillery in Newport, Kentucky. The Aquafire Tasting Room, located on the 3rd floor of the distillery, features cocktails, flights, and pours of New Riff's entire line of spirits, including rare, limited edition, and distillery-exclusive releases. Bearcat Journal listeners can save 50% on distillery tours when you use the code Bearcats24. For more information or to book a tour, visit newriffdistilling.com. All right, Ryan, take it away.
All right. First question. For the Bearcats to win, wait, hold on. I'm trying to remember how I word this. How many do you think? Okay, so do you think between CMOS and CJ Fredericks to formulate a Bearcat win, do you think there needs to be 6 or more threes made combined between them?
That was the exact number I had, was 6. Right when you said that, I was like 2 and 4. I would say 6 or more, yes.
I mean, go ahead, Aaron.
I like 7. If we're just gonna be launching threes.
So you
I'm
think
good with
6
7.
won't be enough?
I don't know, against the number 12 team in Ken Palm, that Texas Tech scores.
So you going 4 and 3? You think it more 5 and 2? You think CMOS just goes berserk?
I don't care how you get there. Maybe CJ Frederick just goes berserk and hits 7. Says, "Fuck my hamstrings. This is for you," and just goes off. But
beast mode.
No, I don't care. Get the 7.
You've
been hitting like 25% or less. It feels like for the last 3 or 4 games. So we're due.
Or they're doomed, one of the two.
Mm.
So Texas Tech does a really good job limiting teams from 2. Opponents are only shooting 45.9% from 2. That's best for 34th in the country. This is not a great team from 2-point range, Cincinnati. So
45% would be a gift right now.
Yeah. So I think
good.
they're going to have to do – actually, Aaron, they're 53.2% from 2 on the season.
I'm impressed. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Well, that's because those include all the dunks that they make. So you get to add those in. If you take those out –
all the layups they miss.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you take the dunks out, it ain't great. It's not great, Bob. So I think they are going to have
be even better.
They are going to
have the most missed
game from 3. Texas Tech is 128th in 3-point defense, so they will give up they're one of those teams that they really collapse. They try to take away everything on the interior because they don't play with great size. So they kind of have to swarm when the ball's inside. The key here is Cincinnati's going to have to move the ball. They're going to have to make the ball pop, and they're going to have to take good rhythm threes as they draw that defense in, kick it out, get open rhythm shots. 6 would probably be about right between CMOS and CJ. I mean, if it's 5, I don't think it's catastrophic, but it can't be 2. It can't be 3 because they shoot 38% from 3 on the season. They are number 12 in the country, 38.9%. So 39% is a team from 3. They're number 12 in the country. So somebody's going to have to make some shots for the Bearcats.
Yes, sir. All right, second question. What has been your guys' favorite play of the season so far? Simple, but maybe we can start getting some positive vibes heading into tomorrow night.
Dylan Mitchell fast break dunk. That's my favorite play. The steal fast break dunk.
I think when CMOS hit like his 5th 3 against NKU from like 30 feet, like Wes told me he wasn't on the logo. He was a foot from standing on the logo and he just nailed it. I think that was probably mine.
I don't know. Nothing's really something from the Xavier game because they won. Pick your favorite big moment from the Xavier game.
Zach Fremantle missing.
Yeah, Zach Fremantle's missed 3 has been my favorite play of the season. Probably the 2 dunks to start. Didn't they start the Xavier game with 2 dunks, like bang, bang, like in the first segment that kind of set the tone? I think Z's got a lob and Dylan got a lob. It was their first 4 points of the game or something in that realm that got the crowd going and kind of set the tone for the day. I'll go with that.
All right. So I don't really have much to talk about football-wise. I'll do a third basketball question. What's the magic point total for the Bearcats do you think they need to get to win tomorrow night?
74.
I was first number.
Anything with a 7 makes me. I haven't seen that in a while, so it sounds almost like black magic. So we'll have to see. I'm hoping you guys all say something that starts with a 7 because.
They've really only had one super prolific scoring game away from home, and that was Utah, where they scored 93. 72 BYU, 61 at Kansas State, 72 against Texas A&M, or no, 67 against Texas A&M neutral, 77 against St. Joseph's neutral. I'll just go straight 70. Like, this is not a great Texas Tech offense away from home. They have been dynamic as hell at home, but that they have been a little bit on the struggle bus on the road. Plus, I mean, they just had a huge win against Arizona. Maybe you catch them a little down, a little off. Like they're feeling themselves. They're feeling good. And maybe they're a little off, but I mean, hell, what points wise? 14 for Chance McMillan, 20 for JT Toppin, 10 for Christian Anderson. But like I said, they didn't shoot really well in that Arizona game, even though they won big. They were only 42% from 2 and 26% from 3. Maybe the key is keeping them off the line. They were 16 of 18 at the free throw line against Arizona. If you keep them off the line, I think you can keep them under 70, Ryan. I think 70 gets the job done.
I like it. I think anything with a 7 in it needs to happen.
That's why I went just straight 70, like flat Not 71, not 72, 70. Just straight up 70.
It's a rookie score, Chad.
It is.
Portnoy would-
It's fine. I don't want to get too far out over my skis, Ryan. 72, I feel like you're pressing your luck. It's been a while since the Bearcats have put up a 7, right?
I know.
They
get 7 points. Maybe 17, 27, 37.
Grambling
Never at the
State
front.
was the last time they put up 70. They scored 84. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. And then the 2 before that, 66 against Dayton, 68 against Xavier. So in 8 of their last 9 games, they have failed to reach 70. So I'm probably an idiot for saying 70. I'm just saying. Remember that one thing you and Brent were texting about?
I actually don't. Do you?
No,
I remember that one thing he was texting you about. He told me about it. He said that he had told Keegan that his flight was leaving at like 8:30, and then he told Chad that his flight was leaving at 10, and then he told Chad that he missed the flight altogether, and then he told Chad he missed the flight the next morning, and then somehow he was driving to Atlanta to go home from Indianapolis or from here, who knows. I'm not sure he had a car in either place. And then he ends up going to the national championship game because a friend just happened to call him. Do you think that's real? Do you think that really happened? I don't think that really happened.
Aaron believes that Brent has had a ticket to this game all along. And instead of just saying, I'm going to the national championship game, he came up with this cockamamie story that he was driving to Florida and his buddy was like, I got a ticket for you, bro. Just come back to Atlanta. And we
15th row. Just happened to have a ticket.
So, Ryan, do you think Brent was telling the truth
in your text
about going to accidentally running into a ticket for the national championship game? Or do you think he's had this planned all along? And for how long do you think he's had this planned if you think he did have it planned?
Oh, I think that he probably knew about that ticket maximum 3 days after Notre Dame beat Penn State.
Of course.
Because you ain't just scoring. You ain't just scoring something like this.
The get-in price was $3,000.
Yeah,
like a week ago for this game.
That was your signing bonus for BBP, right, Keegan?
Oh yeah. Divided by $3,000.
It was $1,500 for a seat in the last row of the stadium before the game.
Today.
And Brent just happened.
I saw 4,000.
I mean, it's not a big stadium.
No. He's in the 15th row.
Yeah, he looks like he's had
at least in that picture, but I would imagine that you're taking that from your seat. You're not just walking down there. I don't even think you're allowed to just walk down in places if you don't have a ticket in these types of environments. So
Brett seems like somebody that would just like walk past security and do whatever he felt like he wanted to do.
He's wearing his Bearcat credential.
He's got his cotton bowl. He's got his cotton bowl CFP credential on.
He's just got like
you could trick some people.
He's got a high vis vest and a ladder, and he just walks through like real speedily, like he's got something to go work on.
Hey, act confused, play dumb. Yeah, you can get away with a lot.
Just talk on the phone, and then
looking for the weight room. Have you guys seen the weight room?
I just don't believe it because it like he doesn't strike me as a guy who would just say, "Hey, Chad, I got tickets to the national championship game, so I'm not going to be able to do the BVP," which you would say, "Okay, that's fine."
Right. I like
he would feel the need to make up a story.
Of stuff like I need off for this and that. I've never said no to anyone that's needed a day off for anything. The only thing I've ever bitched about is Brent just deciding, like in his house, sitting at home, that it's more important to do, like to watch a game than to pay our bills. Like that bothers me. He's at home. Do the damn podcast. But if you want to go to the game, go to the game. This was his way out of it because he does this every time there is something significant on a Monday. Basketball national championship, football national championship, like a Monday night baseball game that he wanted to watch. Can we do it at 6:30 instead of No? Do the damn
I wonder
podcast.
why it's halftime. Why isn't he calling in?
He definitely
wonder what-
listens to this.
Should we?
He will
I
definitely be listening to this. So I do want to
Absolutely.
say
That's
we do love you,
might just
Brent.
be-
None of us believe you.
He might just be off his freaking rocker right now at that game. I bet you.
Oh, there's a
Is he a
100%
Notre Dame?
chance of that. Too.
Is he a Notre Dame fan?
no, but he's from Indiana, so he's
Yeah.
gonna know Notre Dame.
He went
Like,
to
you know.
Cathedral, and it's like the same uniforms, the same mascot, everything.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's probably.
I think
what it
they
is.
actually got like the same thing that happened to the idiot middle school in Tennessee happened to Cathedral High School, that Notre Dame sued them for copyright infringement because they were the Irish, they wore the gold dome. Like, it was the
There's
exact
some-
same thing.
There's some Notre Dame DRs.
Some cease and desist, you dumbasses. Quit using our trademarks. All right, let's timestamp, get this mailbag over and watch the second half as Notre Dame clings to life.
Let's see
It's
how
probably
second
about
half
over.
Marcus is going to do. See those Mr. Adjustments. He used to have good adjustments back in the day. So
Aaron, do you think this could cost Al Golden the Bengals job if they just get lit up tonight?
No, they fancy themselves on taking people who have done terribly at their college stints and haven't done anything to warrant having a position in the NFL. Actually, they pride themselves in that because that means they don't have to pay them as much. I hate them.
That's a topic for tomorrow night. George in the Jungle.
Can't
We'll
wait.
see whether or not it's a joint version or if Aaron, a collab, or if Aaron and
Crossover.
George crossover. If Aaron and George just go and then Aaron and I will go after. We'll see. But anywho, timestamp, Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company. They provide mostly disposable restaurant supplies, to-go containers, cups, pizza boxes, to-go bags, can liners, napkins. Excuse me. They've been open since 2009, are one of the largest minority-owned companies in the city. Call Nick, 513-470-2029. Reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases. Plus, let's see if we can set a record for the shortest BBP while Brent is not here.
We'll see.
this is like what it was back when I first joined. We're at that
No,
rate
it's-
right now.
It's never been this. Brent makes sure he gets his money's worth. We're at least at 2 hours.
Even on those
I-
national championship nights. All right. We will start off in the football portion of the mailbag. How many former Bearcat coaches now coaching at Notre Dame have experienced two different 13-game winning streaks over the last 4 years?
Well, Marcus Freeman didn't because he left before 2021 and lost to the Bearcats, which was their only loss of the regular season. So he did not get to experience a 13-game winning streak, but Mike Denbrock did. Mike Brown did. I think that was it as far as guys that were on staff.
Gino
Gino.
and was Mickens.
Mickens was already at Notre Dame.
Okay, so 3.
3.
Okay.
That's your answer.
How do you feel if in next year's playoffs you have them true seeded 1 through 12, but the way to determine the home team is the following? Number 1, a conference championship. Number 2, if both conference champs, then the better seed.
I think the only way you really can do this, I still am of the belief that conference champions should get the bye. You won your conference. Like, that has to be a goal. Like, that has to be something that you are rewarded for. If you're one of the top 4 conference champs, you get a bye. I think the way to do it best is you seed it, you play the first round games, and then you reseed it in the second round. I think that is the best way to do it. I don't know of any other responsible way to do it.
So, on what basis would you reseed it? Is it just how you performed in the first round?
No, it's
Or
what your
is it-
seed was coming in to the like how
NFL does it.
the NFL does, where the number 1 seed.
So
gets
it's not
the
a bracket.
weakest remaining.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
So number 1 would play whoever the lowest seeded team left is. Number 2 would play the second lowest seeded team. And that way you're still getting an advantage if you're number 1. Like, it wasn't fair that Oregon had to play Ohio State, although, again, that was Ohio State's fault because Ohio State lost the Michigan game. Their seed dropped. I would just keep it how it is. At least for another year, I want to see some evidence of what this looks like over time, as opposed to this instant overreaction of, I didn't like how it played out this year, so we're going to change it for next year.
Yeah, I agree.
That the SEC is going to force upon us because they didn't get their way this year.
Just means more.
Till it doesn't.
Asshats. Do you think the 2 best teams are playing for the championship?
I think the 2 teams that were playing best at the end of the season are playing for the championship. Yeah.
Which is something we haven't really seen in years past. You don't necessarily get to see it played out that way.
I think
Right.
Oregon might be better than Notre Dame.
Ohio State and Oregon.
I don't.
But I think Notre Dame's third. I thought they were
Notre Dame. I mean, they
I have a
beat
perfect
Georgia.
bracket. I'm a
They
beast.
beat Georgia. They beat Penn State.
You could argue that Penn State might actually be better than a lot of these teams too. They just have a shitty coach that can't win big games.
If you look across the board, like comparing Ohio State, same conference, Ohio State clearly has better players everywhere except for Abdul Carter. So, and they're supposed to be both like blue chip programs, but Ohio State's obviously a little bit better because I keep beating them over and over again. But
shitty coach.
I think the 2 best teams are playing tonight in terms of who was playing the best at the end of the season, who deserved to be in the championship game. I think these 2 teams were the 2 best teams heading in. Yeah.
Notre Dame's a good ass team.
Something I just thought of. I feel like Oregon could have used an NIU. I feel like that would have changed their season greatly. Like if they had a bad loss early in their year, like Notre Dame.
The Indiana guy's trying to take a shot at Notre Dame is what's happening here.
No, I'm not. No, Notre Dame would not be here right now if they didn't lose to NIU. I'm very confidently. No.
They beat a really good Texas A&M team in week 1. Like they had a slip up, but that is not why. You're one of those. It's good to lose. It's never good to lose, Keegan.
It's good to have a rally cry early in the year.
I think they were still really good. They beat Texas A&M and felt like they were hot shit, and then sleptwalked through the next game and got beat.
I think they probably, if they don't beat NIU, they probably lose to USC late in the year.
USC
just a bad loss to USC.
Who the hell hired Lincoln Riley at USC? What were they thinking?
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, you want to come coach here?
That's just in case my buddy Brandon was watching. Hi, Brandon.
Oh gosh.
And then the last question in the football portion of the mailbag: what is the minimum number of wins next year for Coach Scott Satterfield to stay off the hot seat from fans and or the AD? I'm gonna start off saying 8.
7.
If he doesn't win 8 next year, he'll never win 9 and he'll never win 10. And then what the hell are we even playing for? we'll never be in the playoff.
8
I don't
for
know that-
fans, 7 for AD.
Correct. I think that's right, Keegan. I think that's the proper answer.
Well, he makes it to 2026 with 6.
It was not the same guys who hired Clay Helton, Steve Ross. That was the previous regime who got ran out of town. And then never mind. I'm not going to get into it.
We should have had 7 wins this year, so I feel like we need 8 next year.
Yeah, I think 8 is the fan. The fan answer is 8.
I think John should think that same
I
thing.
think he should
too.
want that too, but he's not firing a coach for 7 and 5.
Oh, firing or hot seat?
Hot seat. The seat's not hot if they go 7 and 5 from a administrative standpoint. I don't think.
Yeah.
Fans
All right,
want 8.
that's the football portion. Moving on to the basketball. There are 10 teams in the conference, 500 or better. How many bids does the Big 12 get? What record do we need to make it? Is it 11-9?
Why can't
like
you
the
just
10
ask one question, Killer B?
I think the 10-10 you had before, Chad, was a good.
I mean, the only tricky thing there, Ryan, is it will depend on the 10. Like, they're going to have to get a scalp, like in
We
those
don't have any quad
games.
ones right now.
Yeah. I mean, you've got Texas Tech, West Virginia, at Houston, at Iowa State, at West Virginia. In that group, you're going to need to get 1 or 2 if you're going to get in at 10-10. I think at 11-9, it doesn't really matter. You're going to get in at 11-9 regardless. At 10-10, I think you're going to need, depending on the bubble and to feel comfortable at 10-10, you better get 1 or 2 of those high level scalps. You know what? West Virginia is 36th. Texas Tech is 12th. Iowa State and Houston are 3rd and 4th. Winning at those 2 places, good luck. Good luck.
But at some point, if you're going to be recognized as a good team, a tournament team, you have to start beating some of these other tournament schools. You can't just not beat anybody.
I'm just answering the question here.
I'm just building on your answer. From Justin Berg. This.
Oh God.
How much fun is it going to be? How much fun is it going to be when Texas Tech easily takes away UC's transition offense and we get to watch the Bearcats clog 87 toilets in the half court versus a top 30 defense?
It's going to be so much fun, Justin. I can't wait.
On a 1 to 10 level, how much fun would you say that?
12. It's going to be a 12.
Clogged toilets is a new one. I've never heard that.
He's so miserable. Like, I just want to give him a hug, squeeze his cute little cheeks, tell him it's going to be okay. This is why what you've seen over the past 3 weeks is why Berg has stopped watching basketball for stretches, because he becomes the most miserable human on the planet when he watches UC basketball.
I love it. I commiserate. So
did we answer Killer B's question about how many bids the Big 12 gets?
How many bids? No, we didn't.
We got lost in this. There were too many questions. We got lost in the.
How many teams are there? 16.
16.
Yeah. I'm going 6.
Say 8. Split it down the mid.
So you don't think Baylor gets in, Keegan?
I don't think West Virginia gets in. No, wait.
Baylor.
No, I miscounted 7.
Okay.
West Virginia's got a pretty easy schedule the rest of the way.
West Virginia has 4 wins. Like, they're probably going to get in. Just their resume
is crazy.
Their resume is strong. So
13 and 4.
Probably going to get in. Unless they fall apart, they're probably going to get in. So you think 7. And Cincinnati's not one of them.
And if it gets to 8, it's because BYU went on a run.
So you think Cincinnati's 9?
They could be 10.
Behind who else?
TCU.
Oh, shut up. No. That is recency bias, TCU having a big win. You think Cincinnati's bad on offense? TCU is 21 spots below Cincinnati on offense. They're in the 150s. And they're not elite on defense. No. That's a terrible answer.
Cincinnati's conference only offense is the worst by 4 points.
Oh, it's bad. Very bad.
TCU's is 8.
40.
Yeah, you have a 40 spot on your metrics.
Right after a
take a while to
48.
recover from that one. Yeah, it'll take a while to recover from 88 in 2 games. TCU.
Yuck.
Get out of here.
All right. Which Keegan prediction is more ridiculous in hindsight?
Oh
Bearcats will go 15-5 in conference, or Emory Jones dark horse Heisman candidate. You don't get to take yourself out. You
Get your
come
ass
back.
back here.
Mother
You did it
Coconuts is an insane name.
You did this to yourself.
Why
I'm not
would-
making predictions anymore.
I predicted them to be in the top 25% of the conference. So I am going to look like a real jackass here. Unless some miracle happens.
15-5, as Chad said when I said it, was winning the Big 12. So
Yeah. Although you might see a 16-4 the way Iowa State and Houston are playing so far. Oof, that's bad news for Notre Dame right there.
So
Judkins
which one's more
runs it
ridiculous?
down to the 5.
Emory Jones is more ridiculous than
you know what, Aaron? I'm
Get
glad
him
you brought
off.
this up. The way you asked the question was stupid. If Emory Jones plays his best football, where does this season go? What kind of question is that?
who asked the question?
You did.
Well, you answered
That's
it
where
the way you
Keegan's
did.
statement came from. Yeah. You can say things like, I think he could be the second conference all Big 12 quarterback. You took it to Heisman candidate.
I specifically said he would be when they show the list of the 10 Heisman votes.
Don't put your evil on me,
10.
Ricky Bobby. Don't put your evil on me.
He's never even seen Days of Thunder, Aaron.
What? Talladega
Something
Nights?
Or Talladega Nights. That's what
Yes, I have.
You sure?
Yes.
You sure?
Yeah.
The answer is
in the
Emory
car.
Jones. The answer is Emory Jones, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. In hindsight, it's Emory Jones.
Don't try to put that on me. Get out of here. How are you feeling about Arrington's development and contribution lately?
He's getting
Trending
there.
up.
Trending up. I think, he had his best game at Colorado. He's got a chance against Texas Tech because they don't have a lot of size. Can maybe have the doors open for him to have another decent game. Last night, I think he's starting to find his rhythm a little bit. Trending up.
I want to see him like I don't know the right way to put this, but like throw an elbow, like be
Play a little
physical.
harder.
Yeah,
That's
like
I
get
just
in somebody's face.
Yeah. I know Aziz can be a little bit reckless sometimes and just kind of fly around and, maybe makes a mistake every once in a while. You can kind of sense the parity between them, like kind of like I guess I wouldn't want to say like he doesn't have as good of effort, but he just doesn't have as much like urgency, it feels, on the defensive side of the ball. But
yeah,
what he can do on offense is way more dynamic than Aziz. So
yeah,
it's good to have him filling in.
For sure.
Just want to see him just one big two-hand throw down, back logo dunk, knees up in his chest, just rah.
Hang on the rim, get a tech.
Yeah, fine. Make it worth it. Catch somebody with a knee on the way up. Lineup matchups for Texas Tech game. What two positions were you the most offensively and defensively?
Keegan, you just did the
preview.
Pre-game story.
Whoever is guarding Chance McCormick and whoever is
McMillan.
guarding
Who's Chance
Darian.
McCormick?
Chance McMillan and whoever is guarding Darian Williams. I think Mitchell will probably be on Williams, which is why I think Aziz will probably be stuck with Toppin for most of the game. So I worry more about Williams and McMillan because Toppin, I feel like Aziz will have a better chance to stop him. So
Here's the thing I worry about. They feed the ball to Toppin relentlessly.
Yeah. That's what, like, his worst 2 games, he shot the ball 7 times. And then in his best games, when he's hitting 20, he's shooting like 18 times.
I mean,
so
he is used on 31% of their possessions and takes 32.7% of their shots. He's 27th nationally in usage, and he's 33rd nationally in number of shots, percentage of shots taken of all players in America. That, like, they tried to ride him. I don't know if you can survive with Aziz on him for 25 minutes. Like, I get what you're saying to put some size and some length on him to frustrate him a little bit, and his usage is, you might have to just 3-4 minutes of Aziz and 3-4 minutes of AP and 3-4 minutes of Mitchell. And, the hardest part about that too, it's number 7 in the country in offensive rebounding percentage. So he gets shots and then he goes and gets them back up on the rim. He's a problem. He is a huge problem offensively. And then to go with that, Chance McMillan, 143.2 offensive rating, number 5 in the country. They are a problem. Their offense is a problem.
what was it last year? Did Pop Isaacs just play like crap? Is that what it was?
Yeah, he wasn't good.
Flop Isaacs. That guy sucks.
Where's he
The
at?
crazy
Creighton?
thing, though, about the number of points they score, they're 260 in tempo on offense. They do not fly up and down the floor. They run good shit, and they take good shots. So Cincinnati's going to have to be – it cannot be anything close to what it looked like against Baylor, because Baylor does a similar thing, and they abused Cincinnati's defense. Abused.
There is to be one Bearcat bench player shock the world with their Game 7 through 20 Big 12 contributions. Who is it most likely to be, and why? Arlington Page, Tyler Betsy, CJ Frederick, or Josh Reed?
Shock the world with 13 games of performance? None of them.
You're comparing them, I guess Arlington Page probably has the most potential to kind of make the biggest impact.
I think it would be CJ, because CJ's done it. I mean,
When's Hickman coming back?
don't know. He's out indefinitely.
I would think it would either be Page or Betsy, only because regardless, if Hickman does come back, they're going to see the most minutes, regardless of who else in that other role, in that CJ or
I don't know, Aaron.
Hickman
Like,
spot.
even if CJ comes back, if Hickman
Hickman,
Connor.
comes back, if CJ, right now, it's going to be hard to get him off the floor
If he's making
because of
shots.
how much better the offense looks. It's not just making shots, Keegan.
he's
He
going to take
moves the ball. He moves himself. Like, no, it's making shots,
know.
but like when he's not making shots, he is still a very valuable piece of the offense because
takes
of the
the
way
Betsy
he
minutes?
plays offense. Who? CJ?
Mhm.
Or Hickman? No.
No, I'm saying is CJ then would take the Betsy minutes if Hickman came back.
No, Hickman just wouldn't get as many minutes. The Betsy minutes are at the 4, maybe
I
the
understand.
3. CJ's playing the 2. So there's not really a lot of like overlap in those minutes, is what I'm saying. Like, there's not a lot of guys that you can take from here and add to
Well,
here.
You could if
Here's
you
what
didn't
mid-
do hockey substitutions.
Yes, you could, and there's a reason for those, and I've already explained them.
My answer would be CJ because I feel like he has the easiest job, and it's if you make like 2 or 3 threes, you're one of the fans' favorite players. So,
And he's local. Everybody loves a local guy.
yeah.
Although he would be loved even more if they said he was from Cincinnati because he's from Cincinnati, but instead they say he played Covcat, so they think he's from across the moat, so they don't love him as much.
So
They said
he
he was from Cincinnati.
lived in Cincinnati but went to Covcath.
Correct.
Oh, then yeah, that's dumb.
The hell would he have to do to shock the world, though? Is he averaging 4 to 5 threes a game?
I think if he
double
averaged 8 a
figures.
game, 8, 9 a game, that would shock the world because that would mean he had a bunch of double-digit games.
I think if he played 13 games, that would shock the world. If his hammies held up.
Yeah.
Rooting for it.
That is true.
The offense is better with him on the floor. No
Talk
question
about what
that.
a gut punch that would be.
If you
thing
speak that
fit.
into existence,
I'm not superstitious, doesn't matter.
okay.
You should pray tonight. Is the inability to get loose balls on effort thing right now or coordination? I'm worried it's the latter, which isn't exactly correctable.
You think these guys are uncoordinated?
No, I didn't. That wasn't my question.
No, I'm asking Bearcat 30. It's not a coordination
It's-
thing. It's effort. Go get the damn ball.
Put your body on the line.
Don't get beat to the ball.
That like it's just Aziz, right? Like no one else remembers anyone really putting their body on the line other than Aziz.
And Dylan. I think Dylan has
Dylan.
some. Not to the extent that Aziz has, but Aziz and Dylan have done that. Not everybody else to this point.
I don't recall a point guard diving at any point in time, which might be just as well because you only have 2 and there's nobody right now to back up either of them if one went out.
Right.
And Dan, he is allergic to
Dan,
rebounds.
it might be a coordination thing because he's got the baby deer thing going, but
He's allergic to rebounds this season.
it's weird. It's so weird. That's his superpower, and his superpower has just been drained.
All right. What was your go-to snow day? That's the end of the basketball portion of the mailbag. Moving on to we got 3 in the banks, and then we'll get out of here. What was your go-to snow day from school activity as a kid?
Chilling in the house, watching The Price is Right.
Sledding. I love going sledding.
Sledding was fun.
Sledding, but I remember the best snow day I ever had. Me and my friends had an online Madden league, and I think we played like 2 seasons in a day. It was so fun.
Right.
Keegan, you know
do they
what
have-
Grinded.
Yeah.
Ryan, do they have hills in Columbus, or did you have to like tie a rope to a 4-wheeler and get dragged around?
There's some hills. There's like an apartment complex right behind my neighborhood, and they have this like not a huge hill, but it's a good size like hill. Like it was put in there, I think, or something. Like the apartments sit on top of it, so you could. And then there's the Scioto River that like runs through the middle of Columbus, and like that creates some like good hills leading down towards the river. But just make
Sounds
sure you don't go
terrifying.
flying into it. Yeah, there's some good sledding stuff out there. So we always had a good time.
For fun, I'm just
Keegan.
going to continue to picture you holding a rope on the back of a 4-wheeler.
We did that in Clifton. One of our buddies had a truck, and like we would just get on the back of a stinky little plastic sled, and they would just pull us around. And
Keegan, do you know what we had to do to have a Madden tournament back in the early 90s, mid 90s?
Land party.
Yeah. Everybody get in the same house. Play Tecmo Bowl.
I mean, we did it with Madden. Everybody get in the same house. Everybody bring your TV. Everybody bring your gaming system. We do it at my boy Kaiser's house because he had like a big like wide open area in his living room and kitchen, and then he had a good sized basement, and you had to plug in the TV and plug in the PlayStation or whatever in every outlet all the way throughout his house. And we would sit around on like 12 different TVs and have a Madden tournament.
I did that with Fortnite once, and that was another one of the best nights of my life.
You're such a baby.
I don't get out much.
I played Fortnite today with my brother for the first time in a long time.
Sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah. It was the thing.
It does. All right. Let's go.
If the MVP vote was still open yesterday, who sealed the deal, Josh Allen or Lamar? Josh, 16 of 22 for 127, no touchdowns, 10 rushes for 20 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers, total yards 147, and Buffalo won. Lamar, 18 of 25 for 254, 2 touchdowns, 6 rushes for 39 yards, 2 turnovers, total yards 293, and Baltimore lost.
If you're gonna give it to someone
Joe
who
Burrow.
lost, give it to Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Joe Burrow
give
should
it to
get the
Josh
MVP
Allen.
vote.
Josh Allen won.
Yeah.
Killer V again.
Yeah.
We got to shorten these questions. Like, come on, man.
Well,
You can't
and
have
bonus
questions
question.
that take 90 seconds to read.
Bonus question: did Mark Andrews do enough to be awarded the game ball by Buffalo?
Dude,
Yes.
I have seen some unbelievably terrible yet funny memes about Mark Andrews.
Poor guy
Yes.
ruined
Yeah.
his legacy.
I
in the
see. Yeah,
blink of an eye.
I saw, and it was perfect. But someone like did an AI crop of James Harden's face onto Lamar Jackson's body, and that was just chef's kiss. Perfect.
And
I'm not
the
even going
final
to tell
question,
you what I saw. Where
I imagine
Should.
had something to do with Joy Taylor. As Brent progresses, progresses through a CFP title game induced bender, how hard is he hammering the Bearcats plus 1.5 versus Texas Tech? Will we need to start a GoFundMe if the Cats lose tomorrow night?
Title
hopefully
game.
he didn't put any money on the Irish in any way.
You know
Or
he
else-
did.
1,000% he did.
Minimum $1,000.
He put money on. He put money on Notre Dame as soon as he got the ticket 3 days after the Notre Dame Penn State game. Notre Dame winning against Penn State. Notre Dame winning against Penn State is why he had the money to get the ticket and also to put money on Notre Dame in this game.
This game's
boy.
a fucking it's been done.
The only chance they had was to play great defense, and they have been sliced and diced.
Will Howard.
How about Chris Kleiman moving on from the eventual national champion quarterback for Avery Johnson? Ew.
Speaking of Avery Johnson, I can't wait until he does the next game of basketball for the Cincinnati Bearcats. He is a great commentator. Enjoyed that.
Your Avery Johnson's pretty good. This is pretty good. Not gonna lie.
All right, that's the mailbag. Get us out of here, Chad.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We missed you, Brent, but you knew
Miss
if
you,
you weren't
buddy.
going to be here, we were gonna bust your balls as much as we possibly could. So
I can't wait till he's back to do it all over again.
Keegan, we didn't really pick on you that much tonight. We picked on Brent more, and he wasn't even here.
Andrew shaved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't talk about your stupid looking face hardly at all.
There we go.
That's
There
gonna
you
wrap
have
it
it,
up,
folks.
Brent will be back next week. We'll see you then. That's the PvP live from the Cincy Light Studios, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.